In this video, I'm going to show you how you can own multiple pieces of real estate that will pay you rent every year for the rest of your life using just one strategy. My name is Olisa Omira and I'm the CEO of Symbolic Development, and since 2016, I have helped hundreds of people invest in real estate profitably using the teachings I share on my YouTube channel and through my real estate company. I have also acquired over 200 acres of land for myself and my company, some of which we have sold to individuals and others we have kept for the future. You see, everybody knows that real estate is highly profitable and very stable if you know how to handle it. You can invest in it once and it will pay you for the rest of your life if you take care of it. The problem is that it is too expensive. Not so many persons can afford real estate. In fact, most persons would only be able to afford just one piece of real estate throughout their entire lives. Some people even save for years to buy a house, and when they are ready to buy it, the price of the house has gone up. The truth is, the kind of income that real estate gives has always been reserved for the rich and the super rich. And if you can afford it, it takes time, effort, and expertise to know how to manage it. That's why there are lots of empty, abandoned, dilapidated buildings in highbrow areas like Victoria Island and Ikoyi, because the owners could not manage them properly. And when you stop managing real estate, what happens? The value reduces and it gradually stops paying you. Now the question is this: what if there was a way to own multiple pieces of real estate in different locations without having to save for years to buy property, without buying land, without building a house, and without going through the stress of managing the property by yourself? This is possible if you use this one strategy: collaboration. I'll tell you how this works and how this helps people come together to co-own real estate. But first, let me tell you how I came about this idea. So in 2017, I was sitting in my friend's house and I thought to myself, what if I could earn rent of 100,000 naira from 1,000 properties every year? That would be 100 million naira per year in rent. And I thought to myself, even if it takes me 20 years to achieve it, why won't I do it? And that was how the idea of real estate co-ownership came to me. And 5 years later, I and my team built jointly a product that allows anyone co-own properties that can pay them for life. Let me explain how this works. On Jointly, there are 3 ways you can invest in real estate. The first is through co-ownership. I'll explain co-ownership using an example. We have a project in Lekki, and one unit of 2-bedroom apartments in this project sells for 47 million naira. There are 2 ways to buy this apartment. You can either buy the whole apartment if you have 47 million naira, or you can buy a part of it using the co-ownership strategy. So, we know that not so many persons have 47 million naira, so we divided the 47 million naira into 200 units, and we call them slots. Each slot is worth 235,000 naira and is equal to 0.5% of the apartment. So, if what you can afford is 235,000 naira, you buy 1 slot and you own 0.5% of the apartment. If I can afford to buy 10 slots, I'll pay 235,000 naira, which is the cost of 1 slot, times 10, which is 2,350,000 naira, and I'll own 5% of the property. Someone else who can buy 2 slots will buy 2 slots for 470,000 naira, and they own 1% of the property. This way, we all own different percentages of this property. Now, when we put this property up for rent, every year we collect rent, and this rent is disbursed to everyone who owns a part of the property. These people will receive their rent according to the equity they own in the property. 0.5% will get 0.5% of the rent, 5% will get 5% of the rent, and 10% will get 10% of the rent for the rest of their lives. You see, the thing is, you can also transfer your ownership in this property to your children or to your next of kin. And if you want to sell all or part of your slots in any property after holding it for a period of time, you can sell it on Jointly to other investors. The second way you can invest in real estate on Jointly is what we call co-build. I'll explain this using another example. So we have another project in Lekki, around the Lekki axis where we are building 6 units of 3-bedroom duplexes. The plan is to build them and sell them. Each unit costs 52 million naira to build, and we have 50% of the money to build it. So what happens to the remaining 50%? It's simple. We divide it into 100 slots and make them available to real estate investors who can then buy each slot. Now, when the building is completed and sold, the money is shared according to each person's ownership of the project. The developer, that's us, who brought 50% of the money, takes 50% of the profits because we contributed 50%. And the remaining 50% is shared amongst other investors. So if you bought 5% ownership of the project, you get 5% of the total revenue realized from the sale of the project. So let's say the property is sold for 75 million naira. The developer takes half of it, and the remaining half is shared amongst investors according to each person's ownership of the project. This is a short-term strategy to earning real estate income. The third way to invest in real estate jointly is what we call co-lease. Let me explain this using another example. So there's a property in Victoria Island, and we want to put this property on the short-let market so it can give us high-yield rental income. But first, we have to lease this property for 20 years. So if the total cost of leasing this property is 400 million, and we divide this into 100 slots, each person can own 1% of this property for the entire period of the lease. Now, when we put this property on the market and we get bookings, people pay to use the property. Every quarter or every year, what do? We pay this rent, this money received from the bookings, to everyone who owns a part of this lease. So if you own 1%, you get 1% of the rent realized. If you own 10%, you get 10%. If you own 5%, you get 5% for the duration of the lease, which is 20 years. This is like, a mid-term strategy to earning rental income. It's that simple. Now, the best part of investing in real estate jointly is that even when you buy slots in these properties, you don't have to pay at once, because jointly offers you a pay by installment option that allows you spread your payments for a period of time, maybe 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, depending on the particular project. So you can make a deposit and lock down the property at the current value before the price goes up, then spread the balance over the duration you have chosen to pay. So it means that if one slot of a property is worth 500,000 naira, you can make a deposit on that property and spread the balance for a period. If it's 1 million naira, you make a deposit for that property and spread the balance for a period. You also get a certificate of beneficial ownership whenever you purchase slots in any property jointly. This document shows the details of your ownership in the property that you have purchased. Some persons have asked us if this is legal and if we have a license for these operations. Well, Jointly operates legally as a multi-purpose cooperative society registered and regulated by the Lagos State Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Cooperatives. This allows people to come together to invest in and own real estate. So once you sign up jointly, you automatically become a member of the cooperative. Also, when you co-own a property or own a part of any project jointly, that investment is backed by a real asset, which is the asset you are investing in. You can touch it, you can see it, you can visit it, you can feel it. When people book your apartment, you can see the people. It's real. So you are investing in something that exists, and that is the safest form of investment. And your investments are insured when you co-own a property jointly, because after building, before we put the property on the market, the final step in the process is to insure it against any unforeseen circumstances. So you are sure that your investment is insured. The question is, who is jointly for? And I would say jointly is for two sets of people. One, anyone who wants to invest in real estate and create multiple streams of passive income. Two, anyone who desires to build generational wealth one step at a time. If this is you, then this is how to get started. The first step is go to www.ownjointly.com and create a free account and sign up. When you've done that, log into your account, go to Marketplace, check out the properties that fit your budget, pick a property, and purchase any number of slots you want. When you sign up, one of our company reps will give you a clarity call within 72 hours to answer any questions you might have and help you choose a property that suits you. So what you have to do right now is click the button below this video to see the next steps. And when you sign up, I'll be waiting for you on the other side so we can start earning rent together. Cut. Cut.